Welcome to the Slice Podcast, episode 14, I believe. I should have checked this before I started. What the hell's wrong with me? I early need to check. But if this is episode 14, then no, this is episode 15. Welcome to the Slice Podcast, episode 15, where I give you a slice of my mind. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez, and I decided to spruce up my set a little bit. I call it my set when in actuality it's just my table that I eat at. Got a beer. IPA. It's an IPA. Really good. They have I'd say a zesty taste to them that really gives it a unique flavor. I hope the audio's catching this good. The way I have the mic set up. Probably not the best. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so what's been going on in my life? Well, let's see. I'm working on a television show called 911 Lone Star. I am a health and safety monitor, which means that I monitor the sets and make sure that the COVID guidelines are being followed, that people wear their masks properly, that they're wearing Disney approved masks. I have to sanitize the sets and make sure that if actors are, let's say, touching a controller or they're touching a keypad, I got to make sure that that gets sanitized whenever second team and first team shows up. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's all I really do. But it's cool because I'm on a TV show now. I'm working on a television show. I'm 21 and I'm already in the first step of following my dreams of becoming a filmmaker. And I've told my coworkers I want to be a director and a writer. And then I said no. I am a director and a writer. As long as I have that confidence, I think that's all that matters in the long run. But I like my coworkers. They like me. We have fun. And I get to see the process. I get to see the filming happen. I get to see the camera movements. I get to see the cranes they use for these insane shots. I get to see stunts happen. It's really awesome. And it's really insightful. It's basically film school, except I'm getting paid. So that's awesome. Okay, I just don't want my Midsummer director's cut, which I still haven't watched, to fall over. I still haven't watched it, and that's kind of disappointing. I mean, Midsummer is my fifth favorite film of all time. And that's weird to say that a film from 2019 is my fifth favorite film of all time, but it is. Most of my favorite films are kind of older. There's Back to the Future. There's Star Wars. It's Back to the Future, then Star Wars. The first one, 1977, A New Hope. I just call it Star Wars. But if I'm talking to people, I'll call it A New Hope so they don't get confused. A Bronx Tale, Forrest Gump, and Midsummer. Midsummer being that high up because of its production value, because of its writing, its directing, its score, what it means to me personally. I'll get more into that when I actually make a video on it at some point in the future. And that's going to be hard. Not hard, it's just going to be very time consuming because there's a lot I want to say on Midsummer, more so when I watch the director's cut. But also, I basically have no free time whatsoever except on the weekends. And even then, on the weekends, I just want to sleep. Because we're working long hours. And I don't mind long hours. I like showing that I can withstand working long hours. I like working. I like making money, but it's also, I wouldn't mind if I was being paid minimum wage, as long as I'd be there watching everything happen, as long as I can get the experience, because my foot's in the door already. Now it's just a matter of me getting a connection with these people and hopefully getting a new job as a PA probably, and then working my way up to become a writer and director, which is not what I want to do, which is what I am. I had a coworker. She because I always say I want to write at work because there's so much downtime. Because we stand there, we walk around the sets, but then and everyone mainly has their masks up. If they don't, I just go up and say, "Hey, excuse me, I need your mask up," and they'll do so. But there are points where you're not doing much. So my coworker had a notepad, and she said, "Here, why don't you have it?" She gave me a pen too, and so I started writing, working on stories, and stories I think that are very doable with a very small, not a very small budget, but a small budget in terms of filmmaking, in terms of actual movies. I think Pig, which is something I want to talk about later, had a budget of about $2 million, and that movie looks excellent. I saw it on my birthday. I don't think I did a podcast since a couple days before my birthday. So yeah, sort of a life update. I'm working on a TV show. It's awesome. Long hours. There's this point where we went in at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and didn't get out until like 1 the next morning, and it was just a long day. And we've had really long days going to different locations. I'm not sure how much I can say. I know I can't say plot details like, oh, so and so does this and so dies, or so and so has a heart attack or whatever. That those aren't things that happen on the show, but I'm just providing examples of like spoilery type stuff that would be brought upon from other shows or movies or whatever. But I'm not allowed to really explain plot deals. I can't even say if so and so has a beard or not, or what so and so wore, because that could be spoilery. I can say I work on this show. I can say I'm having fun. I can, I guess, explain the processes of it. I just can't reveal any plot details. I can't show any pictures of the set to anyone or anything, or else the mouse is going to get me, because although it's under Fox, I think I'm technically employed under Disney. Excuse me. So, yeah, Disney. And that's cool because I remember as a kid, I always wanted to work at Disneyland. I wanted to be an Imagineer when I was a kid. I wanted to design roller coasters because I was like, wow, I have such a creative mind. I have all these cool ideas for roller coasters and a hotel, which I won't say because in case someone ever thinks of it and looks at this video and sees it, they'll use it and probably take money away that I could have had if I were to pitch that idea, if I were to be an Imagineer, but whatever. But then I didn't like math as much later on as I did early on in school. So I dropped it. I wanted to write as well. At first, I wanted to be a novel. I wanted to be an author and write novels and stuff. But then I remembered my love for film, which is weird because my love for films, like as I love them now, I didn't really do so until maybe my sophomore year or so, when I started watching films I never thought I'd watch. Because growing up, you're a kid, you watch, the franchise stuff, you watch Star Wars and you watch superhero films and, Mr. Popper's Penguins and stupid stuff like that. So it was a weird journey for me, figuring out what kind of movies I wanted to make, because I knew I wanted to write, big action films. But then when I started watching different films, indie films, not so much popular films, I realized that film is this beautiful form of expression that people can use. Because, and then I was talking to my coworkers about this the other day. When you talk about movies, and I think there's 2-3 different kinds of movies. There's, you can express yourself. It's in the form of expression, or it's a film that you can have fun with. I really think those are the only 2 kinds of movies that there can be, because the way film began was it was just to show, it was to document, it was to show the daily lives of people, factory workers, a train, you know, native tribes or something. That's how, you know, that's what was first captured on film, stuff like that, you know, simple stuff. And then people can go watch them in Nickelodeons or whatever. And then it became this medium for, hey, I have a story to tell. Let's adapt books into this, and then Hollywood. So that's I mean, and it sounds so weird to say it like that, but I really think those are the only kinds of movies that can exist. The two or three kinds: films that you have something to express and you want to express it, something personal, something meaningful for the world and or for yourself, or let's have fun and let's make a cool action film, or let's make a funny comedy, you know. So there's something like Midsummer. It's a form of expression about breakups and toxic relationships and community and feeling like you matter and belong to a community. And then there's, let's say, Terminator. Let's have fun. A cool sci-fi action story with not so much of a like a meaning, like a personal meaning or like a purpose, really, as in like expressing your feelings on something. I guess technology would be something like that. It's been a while since I've even seen the first Terminator, even though everyone prefers Terminator 2, because Terminator 2 is like one of the coolest action films ever made. But those are more so let's have fun, you know, let's go see some cool action stuff. Um, it like I said, it sounds weird to say, but I really think that's. And then you know you have films that do both. You have films that tell a meaningful story, but also provides fun, like let's say in Avengers: Infinity War. Losing calories, but then I'm gaining them because I'm, you know, whatever. Dumb joke, bad joke. I didn't really come into here with a list per se, like I usually do. I have like a list and I cross it off or whatever. Like, oh, I talked about this and I talked about this. I wanted to really explain more so. Here's what's going on in my life, and then talk about the movies that I've seen. Maybe talk about some movies upcoming that I want to see. Um, there have been movies that I've seen. In the order: Lamb, Shang-Chi, Malignant, Titane, and Lamb. And I wanted to do a separate video on that, but I just thought let's do it in the podcast. At first, I wanted the whole podcast to be this, you know, the movie reviews, those 5 movies that I've seen. But then I thought, no, let's make it a regular podcast too, and I'll take that clip out later and make it its own separate video in case people want to watch that, rather than hear me ramble on about, oh, my personal life. So interesting and fascinating, right? You know, I like it. You know, I do what I do, and I like it. I don't know if you heard that, like a little firework went off or something. I live in Compton. That's and so, you know, people have, you know, it's a bad place. It's Compton. You know, it's ghetto, whatever. It's not awful. It's not bad. It's ghetto-esque areas. I'm pretty sure I've said this before in my other podcasts since I've gotten here, but it's more so, like I said, a big neighborhood that you live in, and then people leave for work. It's not like this glamorous place or something. It's a city you live in. You go to work. It's whatever. I did get pissed off one day though, because there are a lot of, I don't know what you call them, like street takeovers, where people just block off streets and they do donuts and stuff, showing off their cars. And I got stuck one time. I'm like, I work in the morning, I'm driving home, fuck off. I want to drive, go home and sleep. You know, stop it. I don't give a shit about your fucking donuts and your probably shitty car, whatever. And then the helicopters and cop cars started coming in, and then everyone left and stuff. So that happens. You'll hear helicopters every now and then, like looking for people or something, or you know, high-speed drivers on the freeway, I guess. I I was driving to get food one time. There's this place around here. It's a nice, actually a nice, pretty nice place. Good burgers. One of the only places I really know around here that does fried chicken, and it's okay. It's not amazing. It's not my mama's fried chicken. My mama makes the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. Crispy but juicy. Tender. It's delicious. Damn, I want it so bad. And anyways, I'm driving to go get food one night, and then I'm at the stop sign. I'm at the stoplight, waiting, and I see this car from this side drive over. And I see a motorcycle from this side drive over, and they just fucking they could crash into each other. The guy on the motorcycle, flies up in the air basically, lands. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck did I just see? I've never seen something horrific like that. So it was really shocking to me. But the guys in the car, thank God they got out and took the guy to the hospital. I assume. They got him and they put him in their car to take him to the hospital. I hope so. But I've never seen anything like that before. I've seen dead bodies. I've been to a couple of funerals. I've never seen someone killed. You see dead animals. I hunt, but it's weird. It's different seeing people get hurt like that as opposed to animals, because people hold people on a higher standard because we're people. We're on top of the food chain. And there have been points where I've hunted and I looked at these dead ducks and geese like, wow, this was a majestic creature God created for us to gaze upon. But, they're delicious and the sport is fun. It's really fun. It's the experience of it all. But yeah, I saw that happen and I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? And it's not one of those things that put my mind into perspective, like, anything happens in a flash. That's always been on my mind. And that's another thing I want to talk, anxiety in a little bit. I'll discuss that after this, my little spiel about this. But so he's I hope that guy was okay. It looked like he might have broke his leg. I think he broke his leg. I'm just wondering how they crashed into each other. Was the guy on the motorcycle going in the wrong lane too quickly? Car did the same exact thing? I don't know. I just wanted to go get my food. And it was a something to think about. I want to talk about hunting real quick. I was at work one day. I think I can say this. We were filming at an actual firehouse. I think I could say this stuff like where we're filming because we were filming on an actual street the other day, and there's people on the sidewalks looking and filming and going, oh, look at what they're filming. That was cool, but that was also a long night. It was funny because we're all over there, and then the next day we're gonna do double up, which means that the crew splits into two, and one goes film one episode, one goes film the other episode, or films another part of the episode, or something like that. Morally, two different episodes are being filmed at the same time, and the crew is split in half. So, me and another coworker of mine got told by one of our supervisors, hey, you guys are going on the earlier shift tomorrow, and it's 12 hours from now from what they're planning, so you guys need to leave. So we left, and then it was like 2:30 when we left from going in at 4 earlier that day. So that wasn't that bad. I think it was 4 we came in. But anyways, I go to bed, I set my alarms, I wake up at like 8. I'm like, what am I doing awake? This is bullshit. I should be sleeping. And they ended up changing the call time because they didn't wrap until like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the holy shit. So I still ended up going in early. Instead of going at 2, I went in at 4, and then the rest of my crew went in at 4:30. And so this was yesterday when they went in, because we did this on Thursday. It's Saturday right now. I'm filming this on the 23rd of October. It's a Saturday. So the Friday, which is yesterday, my crew goes in, and then my supervisor goes up and says, hey, I'm thinking about sending them home. They had a long ass day yesterday. Yeah, perfectly understandable. When we're done filming here, I'll head over there, relieve all of them. So we did that. And then we, from going in at 4 in the afternoon, yesterday we didn't get off until 6:30 the next day in the morning. You know, it was cool. It was fine. Whatever. Good paycheck. I was going on about this earlier about locations and stuff and whatever. I wanted to say we were at an actual firehouse one day, and I saw three ducks fly over, and like adrenaline just got into me like that. I hope that wasn't too close to the mic, but adrenaline just shot into me, and I was like about to like do the motion of lifting my gun up, jumping out of the blind. I'm like, damn, I'm not hunting right now. That sucks. So I texted my dad. He's like, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I know, right? Hunting's awesome. Hunting's amazing. It's a totally different experience. And I want to say this too. So we do this thing called prep and strike, where you just construction guys are working on a set, and when there's people working, we have to have someone monitoring them. So I went to go monitor these guys one day when we were out in Thousand Oaks, and there are these houses that they built there. I think. And it's just there's nothing but mountains and trees and just grass all around us. And at that point, for the first time in I can't remember how long, I was truly happy and truly at peace, because it was the sun, the wind, just nature like God intended it to be. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. I almost shed a tear. I was like, I feel so calm and relaxed and at peace. And then I realized, I think when I'm older, I'm going to retire to the wilderness and just live like that, because I love movies. I love, big city stuff. I love activities and whatever, but there's no greater feeling in the world to me than just sitting outside in nature with nothing but hearing the critters, rivers flowing, seeing the trees and mountains. There's no other feeling like it for me, except watching a really damn good movie. But I think it's a good segue into the next topic I wanted to discuss. I'll discuss it right now. I just had to make a new clip. I thought I was almost out of time. I had like 6 minutes left, but I decided to make a new clip anyways. So the next topic I wanted to really discuss, and this is something I had on my mind for a long time, anxiety. So I'm not usually, people get anxious about things like work and stuff. And I know everyone's different. Everyone gets anxieties from different things. The thing that I had anxiety about was dying. Yeah, it's a very happy subject to talk about, and I think it's relatable. A lot of people, I think, think about it really. I really had this started for me back in high school in my junior year. So this was about, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe. When I was a junior, it was 2016 to 17. So yeah, a good 5 years. So doing football, I get injured in practice. I strain my neck, my trapezius, as to what I was told, and I remember the pain and how much it hurt, and I was really considering not even playing football anymore, because I love football. Football is one of my favorite things in the world. Football is amazing, but I got hurt, and that wasn't a good time for me, because then I kept thinking, what if it was worse, because what happened was the guy, the defender, even in practice, just straight up head on, and my neck was like this. You're always told never to lean in with your head, because the neck is such a important part of the body. But when you're a lineman, it's kind of hard to really spring up really quickly, especially with the pads and the helmet on. So neck got jolted back, and it really hurt. So I was out for a week. I had to wear a dumb turtle cone or whatever on my neck for a day. It hurt that bad. And I was out for a week, didn't get to play the game. But then I remember the week after, I was practicing, but I lost my starting job basically, and I think this was varsity. So I lost my starting job because I was out for a week basically, and I think I was starting because the original right tackle got injured on the first game of the season, to which we got blown out by a team I believe from Reno. We played in Lake Tahoe, and I got smothered in that game. First, the guy hurts his knee, so I go in, and it's a linebacker blitzing, I think, and he just blows me out because he was quicker than me, and I wasn't all that prepared for it at that time. But I did better in the second half. I think I got my quarterback sacked. No worse feeling in sports when something bad happened and it's your fault. I got my quarterback sacked. Lost the ball, fumble. But anyways, the next game I can play, but I'm not in there, and I wanted to go, and it wasn't like a thing I want playing time. It's not, I wanted to play, not for the sake of playing time. Like I wanted to go in, and I wanted to do something for the team because I knew I could have. I wouldn't say I was as good as the other linemen because I was our smallest lineman for a while. We had like other bigger guys, but I still think I did a damn good job, with my form and blocking. But the coach ended up throwing me in on the last drive, or like our second to last drive, just so we can get me in. I got a holding call, which I still call bullshit to this day. My hands were inside. I was doing everything you were supposed to do as a lineman, blocking, but I still got the holding call, and that was complete and utter bullshit. And everyone got mad at me. I was like, no, that's bullshit. But anyways, and then the guy, it's like a third down, I believe. Defender, rams into my helmet, and then I felt my entire neck, my entire right side of my neck right here, all the way down to my arm, my hand, it went completely numb, and I was like, oh, fuck. So that happened, but I'm still blocking. I'm like, I still need to make my block, no matter how hurt I am. I'm still doing this, and as soon as I see the ball fly over my head and the defender, looks for it, I fall to the ground. I'm like, I can't bear the pain. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. It was hell. So they take me to the sideline, get my stuff off. I'm out for the rest of the season, basically. It was more of a week to week thing, I believe so. But I was like, I every week I was like, I can't. It hurts. It really hurt. And around that time, more so into my senior year, I wasn't doing good with sleep. I'll talk about that later. But I fucked up my neck, strained my trapezius. It was like a week to week thing. Like, I can't play. My neck hurts. I was done for the season. And then senior year, varsity still. Literally like the first day of pads, I hurt my neck again. So I was out for the last half of my first season varsity, and I was out for the first half of my second season varsity, my senior year. So I basically missed out on an entire year of football. So that sucked because football was important to me because it was fun. Everyone else wanted to go in for the NFL and shit. I just wanted to play because I loved it. I mean, I remember one day the coach was like, who wants to go to the next level in football? Everyone except me raised their hand. I was like, fuck, okay. Whatever. So yeah. God damn it. Good. So and then more so into my senior year, it was I wasn't doing good with sleep. My neck was fucked up. And then when I was even able to go into practice, I was still even considering, is it even worth it, hurting my neck again? In my senior year when I was able to play again after I hurt my neck for the first time, when I was able to go back in the second half of the season, I was thinking, is it even worth it? What if something bad happens? Because I always tend to overthink things. And I was thinking, what if I get hurt and, get turned into a vegetable essentially, Of course, I wouldn't want to get the plug pulled on me. I'd let it happen naturally. Because what if I were to somehow wake up by the grace of God? Damn it! But God, I hope the audio levels are good for this. I can always raise it in post. But anyways, so and then I wasn't doing good with sleep either. I was always falling. I was a TA for a class, and I was always falling. I was able to fall asleep because all I had to do was grade assignments, and when I did it, I fall asleep. But when there were no assignments to grade, I was doing my own homework. So I wasn't doing good with sleep. My neck was hurting on a week-to-week basis, and sometimes it still does. But and I was always thinking, well, I don't want to hurt myself in the long run, or God forbid I fuck up my neck even more and somehow die in the field, because I always overthink stuff. God, I had to explain my whole life story to talk about anxiety and dying. So really from that moment on, I'd always get anxiety. I'd always think about dying, and it happening and you not feeling anything. If you're touchy on this subject, I'll you can skip to this point in the video. I'll do that if you're really touchy about the subject of death, so you can not get your anxiety spiked up. So I always thought about it at points, like about points that there'd be weeks where I wouldn't think about it, and then when it happened. My heart would race, I would freak out, and time would feel like it goes by a lot quicker. Happened with my college friends, happened with my regular friends. I'd think about it at points and I'd freak out. And then living alone, I guess it happened a lot more because you're by yourself. There's no one to talk to distract you from it. So I started thinking about it when I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. And so then there's a points at work where we had nothing to do. So I'd walk away, and I'd, go on a little walk by myself. We'd have nothing to do anyways, so I'd just be by myself for a little bit. I wouldn't talk for a while. Coworkers like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing to worry about. Just something I didn't need time for myself for a second. And then my one of my supervisors like, hey, we need to talk. What's up? I'm like, I really wouldn't want to discuss it with you guys because it is a touchy subject. I wouldn't want to trigger that in you guys. He's like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's fine. And so I said, yeah, I think about dying all the time. Not in terms of me committing suicide, in terms of just it happening and you losing the feeling of feeling. So I've talked about this with almost everyone in my life. Cousins, not my parents really, but my relatives, like my siblings, my best friends. I've discussed this with my best friends. And even then, it still happened. But he taught my supervisor just talking to me. He was like, hey, we all go through this. People go through it, but you just got to think about the other things, And I don't know why what he told me, it just worked. I don't feel anxious about it anymore. When I think about it, I don't freak out. My heart doesn't race, and I feel perfectly fine. I'm like, holy shit. Talking to my best friends, some of the closest people in my life to me about it didn't work, but I talked to my supervisor who I've known for like a month and a half. It magically worked. I'm like, holy shit. And ever since then, I felt amazing, And I'm like, holy, wow, what the hell? So ever since then, I've been happy as hell. I don't think about it anymore. But when I do, it doesn't bother me. Which makes me wonder, am I at my midlife crisis right now? Am I at the point where you're in the midlife crisis and you think about death and shit, and then you come to the terms of acceptance? But whatever. I'm gonna live a good life. I'm gonna have a good life, and nothing's gonna stop that from happening. I'm living my dream right now. I'm living by myself. I can buy my own beer. I can do whatever I want, basically. I live in my own place where I can eat what I want. I can stay up however late I want. I mean, I always did that anyways, but Now I can do it without anyone passing judgment or anyone just going, "Oh, you're still awake?" Yeah. You know, I can have cereal at 2 in the morning. Damn it, I always did, but now I can do it in the comfort of my own place, in my own in underwear and nothing else. But shit, what was I talking about right before? I'm not buzzed or anything. I'm just trying to figure out what I was saying right before. Saying about me living. Oh, I'm living the dream, living by myself, working on a TV show. I'm making good money, and I'm happy. I really am happy. There's nothing for me to complain about. Yep. Except not. I'm not gonna complain about the sleep because I knew what I was getting into. I know the film industry is tough, and I just pushed through it. The thing though is that I want to talk about this, and I know this kind of sucks too. The other day, we're on set. I'm walking with a PA because we're going somewhere, and he says, "Hey, did you hear about Alec Baldwin? Well, what happened?" He said he killed someone. What the fuck? Really? He's like, yeah, he shot someone on set with a gun, a prop gun. Apparently, and I this is what I've been hearing. Apparently, it was a live round in a prop gun, and apparently, it was an insert shot. He killed the cinematographer, an award-winning cinematographer, and he injured the director who made it out okay. But that the whole situation's fucked up because you're supposed to go through safety, everything, ensure the lives are protected of everyone. Because even then, there was, I don't remember how long ago it was, but someone died on while filming near train tracks. Someone couldn't make it out in time, and they didn't map out when the trains were coming, so that was a huge safety risk right there. And then even then, with this Alec Baldwin situation, I can't even imagine what he's going through. Of course, you never mean to. You never. I'm pretty sure the guy never meant to hurt anyone. And you're on a film set, and then people are questioning why did the cinematographer get shot? Why were they in the line of direction? Was Alec Baldwin being careless? More information is to come out soon. It's going to take a while for the full story to come out, but that really sucked. So our the AD at our meeting was like, "Hey, we all know about this. It's awful, but we just want to ensure everyone that we're doing everything as safe as possible." So I feel safe on our set. I do. My grandma called me at work. She said, "Did someone die on your set?" I said, "No," because I know the film, one of the film unions, IATSE, I think it's called. They were going to go on strike. They had a vote to go on strike, and a majority said yes because of like really long work hours, not quick enough turnaround times. This is all in the news. And like they wanted mandatory breaks, but I'm pretty sure the breaks wasn't an issue on our set because when people aren't, when we're filming, people just stand around, don't do much because they'll film for a while and then wait until we turn around and do a new deal, new setup, make some adjustments, then they go in. But and then it was in North Carolina, I believe, where 2 people died driving home from work on a film set. I think it was North Carolina. And that sucked too. And so they're like, "Hey, if you guys feel tired, call an Uber. We'll have Disney pay for it. If not, we'll pay for it. We don't want to see any of you guys go. We want to ensure the safety of our set. We want to ensure everyone here is safe." And it made me think a lot that when I film, when I become a director, when I direct and write a film, I want to ensure that everything goes as smoothly and safely as possible. I don't even care if it will have to go a month over shooting time. I just want to make sure that none of my crew is tired to the point where they can't drive home safe. I want to make sure that they're able to function to the best of their ability. And I want to make sure that no one would get injured on our set because of anything. And that really sucks. I can't imagine what these people are going through when something like that happens. I remember someone died on the set of Deadpool 2, a stunt driver, and stuff like that. It sucks, but it happens on sets. People die, and I would never want anything like that to happen on my set. I don't want anything to happen in general. It's an awful thing to happen, and I was shocked. I was like, I haven't heard of anyone dying on a set in a while, but that really sucked. If it was a live round, that's awful. How, and it's a huge mistake. It's really bad. We all took a moment of silence for the cinematographer. I don't remember her name, but we said, let's take 10 seconds. After that, they said 10 seconds doesn't feel like a long time, but that's what it takes. That's all it could take for something awful to happen on a film set. And I texted my family and I said, I know you guys have probably heard of the incident, but I just want to let you guys know that we're safe on our set, and not to worry about me, because we're all being safe. And there's points where everyone has to wear a safety vest, and I wear a safety vest because the COVID teams on shows, from what I've heard on other shows and stuff, they have safety vests so people can identify them, and that's good. But so I always have my safety vest on me. I always wear it, so people can say, yeah, that's the COVID guy. I need a mask. I need some hand sanitizer, And yeah, that's a awful thing that happened, and I wanted to get that off my chest. That I don't want anything like that to ever happen on any film set, in even anything that I'll be in charge of. There's a lot of articles about it out right now about it, about you know unsafe working conditions. Apparently, I haven't read too much about it because I wanted to steer clear away from it for a while. I wanted all of the information to come out before people start, because there's a Twitter trend right now, like Baldwin, Alec for jail or something. Like, come on, no one knows the whole story yet. I'm pretty sure the people on the film set know the whole story, but they're probably trying to keep it under wraps so an outcry doesn't spark or something, more so than that already has. Yeah. So that's a situation that happened. Let's move on to a more happy subject. What do I have in terms of a happy subject that I could talk about? I don't know. I really don't know. I've been drinking, not drinking a lot, but I haven't drank in a while. It's been like maybe a week and a half since I last drank something. But there's points where I'd come home. Shit. There's points where I'd come home from work, and I'd have like a beer or a Mike's Harder lemonade. My family likes to make fun of me because I actually like Mike's Hard Lemonade. You don't. It doesn't feel so heavy, but because of all that carbonation, because it's a seltzer, if you feel it after, but it doesn't feel heavy like when you drink a beer. It's a different kind of heavy. It's just like a soda, but it passes. Whereas beer just stays. All the carbs just build up or something. But yeah. Quit my job at McDonald's because because I'm working on a film set. But my brother's in college in Sacramento, and he's working on McDonald's now. So he's following the footsteps that I left behind. Too bad he didn't get my room. He's in the same hall that I was at college, but he didn't get the room that I had. If that happened, that would have been awesome. But I'm glad for him. He told us how much he got in a paycheck the other day. I'm like, well, dude, the check that he made, it was more than any check I got from that place when I was working there. And I worked a lot. Not a lot. I was working 30 something hours, but for a college student, a full-time college student, I was, taking the classes that I took. It was a lot. Not as much as I'm doing now, but I'm working 12 hours a day maybe. 13. Yeah, something insane. But I can't complain. I really can't. I shouldn't either. Let's finish this. What should I have for dinner tonight? A pizza sounds good. There's this place around the corner from me. I showed the pizza in my in the last episode I did of Me versus Me, called Me versus Me Pizza Time, which I need to make a better thumbnail for it. It looks awful. It's just a pizza with the Me versus Me Pizza Time on it. But I made the joke that it tastes like Little Caesars, which at first it did, but now it tastes different. The pizzas I've got, I had a Hawaiian there one time, and it was delicious. Got a margarita pizza, and that was pretty good too. Maybe I'll get another Hawaiian. They have like garlic bread, or like chicken wings, whatever. It's fine. It's called Pizza King, and that's funny because I talked to my grandpa about it. He goes, hey Pop, what's that pizza place around the corner from you? I said, Pizza King. Pizza King, Pop, just like you, Pop. I miss my grandpa. I miss everybody. I was actually hoping that the strike would happen for like 2 days or something, so I can go home for a little bit. See everybody. I call them on the phone though, so they know I'm okay at least. I had an auntie who was worried about what I'd be eating and how I'd be cooking. I said, Auntie, I have a skillet, I have a pan with a like a little burner. I can cook. So I send her pictures every now and then of what I'm cooking or what I eat at work, because when we're on location, we get catering, and it's always like fish or some tri-tip dish. Well, it's more so like it's like a line. You get either you can get whatever you want. You get everything really, but you get there's a choice of meats, vegetables, pasta. There's always pasta. Meats, vegetables, pastas, rice. There's a fish. You can get a small thing of salad, a drink, and a dessert. And I can't complain about that either. The catering's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. I have flank steaks. I had swordfish the other day. That was pretty good. It was juicy, but I didn't. My friend said it tasted fishy, and I said it didn't taste fishy to me. And that's funny because it tastes like fish, but it doesn't taste fishy. When something tastes fishy, it's bad, and that's weird because the smell of it. There's like two different kinds of fish smell. There's like fish and there's fishy. Fishy is the term you use for it's bad. It's no bueno, no good. But yeah, I had the swordfish. I'm like, damn, that was pretty good. It was juicy. I like the texture of it. I'm pretty sure it's not as good as actual sword, not actual sword, but better swordfish you can get from somewhere else. Damn. How long have I been recording for? God damn it. The way I'm holding this up is I'm leaning it against my Xbox controller, which is right behind the Switch. I like my setup right here, though. Look, I have my Torchic. I love this thing. It's on my bed every day. I see it every day when I come home. Like, this is awesome. I have my Switch. It looks nice, the Animal Crossing edition to spruce it up a little. And I guess I'll throw a different movie up every time. So, right now it's Midsummer. Maybe next episode I'll put Back to the Future. Also, to anyone who follows my Twitter, I am sorry that, because I made a tweet maybe 2 weeks ago, like, hey, I want to do different videos every weekend. A podcast one weekend and a skit the next weekend. I didn't do it. I just got busy. What happened was, so I'm fully vaccinated now. I'm not an anti-vax, like, the government's going to be pumping all this shit into you that no one knows about. I was just like, I'm not getting it because I just didn't feel like it. And I never got sick. But I was perfectly fine. And then we take tests every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at my work. And no results. No, it's all negative. I'm good. And then it was like, hey, you have to be vaccinated. Okay, fine. I was going to get vaccinated anyways if I had to do it for the show because, I need to work on the set. So I did. And the first shot, I felt perfectly fine. Everyone said they had different symptoms from it. So the first shot, all I felt was the tiniest pinch on my arm, or my left arm, I believe, for a day, and that's it. The second shot, and it was funny because that day I took it on Saturday. That day, we were supposed to go drinking. A friend of our coworker was like, "Hey guys, we had a long week. This week sucked. Let's go drinking." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" But then I'm like, "Oh wait, I got stuff to do at my house. I needed to clean. I needed to catch up on some stuff. I just needed to get stuff organized, everything. I'm like, actually, and then I said, actually, I got done with all my stuff. Let's go drinking tonight. Hell yeah!" But then I had work. No, I didn't have work the next day. Did I? Shit, I don't think so. Anyways, so, and I was like, okay, I got my shot, feeling good, and then all of a sudden, I felt cloudy. I didn't want to move. I was like, oh fuck. So like, guys, I have to rescind. I don't know. I don't remember. Guys, I have to take back what I said. I can't go anymore. I'm not feeling good from the shot, and that sucked because that would have been fun to go drinking with my friends. I like all my coworkers; they're really cool. Yeah. Let's see how much time we have left on this clip. Okay, so I had to make a new clip. Sitting differently in my chair now. Maybe not for too long, because you got to see this gorgeous face and this awesome shirt. I think I'm trying to wear an awesome shirt every podcast. This is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier shirt. I got it at Disneyland when I went. I discussed that on my last podcast. You can check that out if you want. Maybe it was 2 podcasts before. I don't know. 12 or 13. Check it out if you want. But yeah, I got this Falcon and the Winter Soldier shirt. I also got an Iron Man shirt. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow, I've been going for almost an hour now, and this isn't as much of a shit show as it was as I thought it was. I don't think I'm gonna do the movie reviews tonight. I just really don't feel like it, because the movies I wanted to talk about were Pig, Shang-Chi, Malignant, Titane, and Alec. No, we'll do it. We got enough time for it. I could 5 minutes per movie. But first, let's finish up what I was discussing. I'm vaccinated. I'm feeling. I felt cloudy for a day, but I felt good after that. I know people had different symptoms from it, but it only lasted a day for me. All right, now let's discuss. This is the movie review section this is the movie review section in the Slice podcast that I'm going to be taking out and making its own separate video. It will be in the Slice podcast, but it will also be its own separate video. So let's first talk about Pig, starring Nicolas Cage, directed by Michael Sarnowski. Now, I don't know a film from Michael Sarnowski, and from the looks of it, it is his directorial debut. And it's his feature-length directorial debut, and it's a pretty damn good directorial debut, if I can say so myself. What Pig is about is Nicolas Cage. I can't remember his name. Alex, I think. Or his name doesn't matter. He is a truffle hunter, and he has a pig with him, and he loves his pig. But people steal his pig, so he has to get it back. Now, when people were discussing this film early on, I think they were saying more so it's like a John Wick film. He wants to get his pig, more so from the marketing, but it's more so. It's not like a John Wick film at all. He just wants his pig back, and that's it. He's not going to kill anyone. He will, and I'll spoil all these movies I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to spoil because there's no way I can talk about Titane or Lamb without spoiling it. And those movies are well long after their release date. So, he loves his pig, but I think it was from a pig he got with his wife, or reminds him of his wife, because it means so much to him, the pig. And he's a chef, and I think they're in Portland, and he's a famous chef. He was a famous chef. You utter his name and everyone goes, what? Holy shit! So he uses that to get around certain ways in certain places to get his pig back. He wants his pig because it helps him hunt truffles. Okay, and Nicolas Cage pulls off an excellent performance. Holy shit! I did not, and he doesn't do anything like Nick Cage does in his movies, but he's crazy. It's his stares, it's the makeup, it's his outfit that he wears. And Alex Wolff is in the film too. He's like the guy that runs this company. I would say, or he's more of a distributor of the truffles because truffles are damn expensive. Okay, I really don't know the prices of them. I guess it depends, but truffles are expensive. So he travels with Alex Wolff's character because Alex Wolff may have mentioned to his dad about him having a pig to hunt for truffles, and so. And what's funny about this is that it's more. What I really liked about this film was that it looked really good. It looks excellent. It looks phenomenal. Everything is sharp. It's crisp. It's clear. I really like the directing, except the camera movement. There's a lot of shots where the camera moves around way too much, and it was really bothersome. I could make out what it was just because of how crisp and clear the image was, but because the camera movements, it was really distracting. There's a helicopter going by. God damn it. But like I said, I was able to make it out what the image was and what was going on, what the characters were doing. But it was really bothersome just because the camera was moving around way too much. I'm like, okay, can you stop? Stop moving, damn it. Okay. I think the film had a low budget. Let me look it up real quick. Pig movie budget. I don't know. I can't find the budget roll. Right. I don't want to take too long, but it was a low. I think it was a low budget because they used one. There's not a lot of characters in it. You follow maybe 5 characters throughout the entire film. 3, 4 characters throughout the entire film, maybe. Nick Cage, Alex Wolff, and Alex Wolff's dad, who is the guy that steals the truffles from Nick Cage. No, he's the guy that steals Nick Cage's truffle pig. He had these guys steal the pig. And so the ultimate way to get the pig back, Nick Cage decides to cook him a dinner. Now, Alex Wolff says, my dad, he, the last time I remember him being really happy with my mom especially, who is dying right now, was this dinner that you cooked for them. So Nick Cage recreates the dinner. And what's awesome is that the scenes where they show them cooking the food, I wanted to orgasm so bad because I was like, holy shit, it looks really damn good. Like, wow. I love good cooking. And that was like some really gourmet stuff that they were doing right there. And it was a really enjoyable film. It was slow. I really thought Nick Cage pulled off a really great performance. I'd like to see a Best Acting nomination thrown his way. But I think that's all the film had going for it. Because it's not mind blowing. I had a really good time watching it. I watched it on my birthday, and I was surprised that there was more than 5 people in the theater, because it was a film well long after its release date. It was the last time I could see the film within a good mileage around me. But it was really enjoyable, but nothing was mind blowing about it. It looked really good. Nick Cage put off a great performance. All the performances were great. But there just wasn't anything mind-blowing about it. But I really enjoyed it. I'd give Pig an A-. It was damn enjoyable. I'd want to watch it again because I had a really good time watching it. There were some hysterical moments. There were some sad moments. Nick Cage pulled off an excellent performance. And I liked it. I really did. Pig is a good movie. And it's up there with some of my favorites of the year. Just because I really liked it. Now let's move on to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I like to say who directed the film every time I talk about a movie. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. And I've never seen any of his films before. Nothing. Just Mercy? He directed that. I didn't see Just Mercy. It looked interesting. Oh, it was on HBO Max. I might give it a shot. I wanted to watch it. It looked good. But anyways, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is about how Shang-Chi, this takes place after this is a new Marvel film in case you're not aware. It takes place after Endgame. I want to say 6 months after Endgame, 10 months. And what happens is that Shang-Chi is living in America, San Francisco, I think, and his father wants to hunt him down because his father is the real Mandarin. Not the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. This is the real Mandarin, the guy who was overtaking continents and stuff in the past. And with the 10 rings, he could live forever. The 10 rings, just gives you cool powers. You can shoot energy out. And you could use it to deflect blasts and whatever. And so Shang-Chi has to track down his sister because his father's looking for her too. And the father really isn't much of a villain. He's just a guy who wants to get his wife back, but he does bad things to do so. And there's turmoil between the father and son because of the way the mother died and what the son did to it and how the father reacted from it to both of his children. And now what I want to say about this film is that everyone was saying that this is a new kind of superhero film. It's new action. It's a new kind of story to tell. And to some aspects, it is true because the villain isn't really a villain. The villain is a guy with a goal. He just doesn't go about it the proper way to do so that hurts people. And I want to say the actor for the villain. He is an actor, well-known actor. Tony Luang Chi Wai, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is in one of my other favorite films of all time, In the Mood for Love. And it's surprising they got him for this film. Wow. But anyways, I think the film looks good. I really like the costume design. The directing was pretty cool. But it's just the thing about this film that just made me think it was okay was not that it's okay. I like the film. I think it's a good movie. It's just that I think the third act is too much for the rest of the film. The film felt a tad bit too long because of the third act. It seems like we're following this story and then a wrench gets thrown into the mix of things and then we follow an entirely completely different thing that goes on. I'm thinking, okay, movie, you did a little too much. You did a little too much, movie, I think. But I thought is it Awkwafina who's in the movie? Because this is another criticism I had with it. It is Awkwafina. She plays a character named Katie who is like best friends with Shang. And they could become like love interests. I didn't mind her at all in the movie. She was the character that has to get saved and then she does something cool at the end. But she's also the comic relief of the movie. And there's points where I'm like, wow, that line worked and that line was funny. And there's points where I'm like, okay, you didn't have to do that, but I know why you did it because people laughed at it. I just personally didn't find it funny. And it seemed a little hashtag cringe, if I do say so myself, certain things. And it's weird because I don't remember a lot of the things in the movie because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I know I liked it. I know I really liked this movie. And the action, I think, is the biggest aspect and the coolest aspect of this film because the directing and the action scenes are really good. There's a lot of long takes where a lot of stuff is happening and then where stuff is spliced in with CGI and real stuff. But you can tell a lot of cool stunts are happening and it makes it a lot more believable because it's not guy in iron suit fighting robot that's, indestructible, or it's not God with a hammer fighting big alien guy. It's people fighting people. And a lot of it looks really damn good and convincing. But then at the end of the film, it's another CGI big fest. But I didn't hate that. I enjoyed what happened at the end. It's just that the way the story was brought upon wasn't so not believable, but it didn't flow as smoothly as I believed it to have, just because of how sudden the third act happened. But I thought the CGI was pretty good too. There's points where it didn't look so hot, where it looked just a tad bit fake. But I know what I know. There's the things that happen in the film. Of course, it's fake, but there's points where it looked like it could have been polished just a tad bit more. And a lot of stuff was happening in the third act with dragons fighting this big monster thing that's supposed to be like this demon thing that feeds off of people. It kills people and it sucks their souls out to live. And there's a lot of stuff happening there, and I can make out what was going on. But then something happens with the rings and killing the dragon thing, or killing the demon thing and the dragon, where it sets off this like it sets off like a beacon sort of thing. And then Wong, and this is the post credit scene when Wong comes out of nowhere. He's like, "Yo, I need to look at the rings. There's a beacon, and it's sending a message out. But let's monitor them and stuff." Okay, you're an Avenger basically now, I guess. And then you see Captain Marvel, who I guess she grew out her hair, and then you see Bruce Banner, who's not Smart Hulk anymore. He's not the Hulk. He's Bruce Banner regularly. So that raises the question of how he's able to do that. You see Travis from Iron Man 3, I think that's his name, who played the Mandalorian, the fake one. He's hysterical in the film. And he has this cool little monster thing that crawls around with him that escaped from the weird world that the mother of Shang-Chi is from. And she can do all this cool mystical stuff with like controlling the elements around her or whatever. And the way they integrated that into the fighting scenes were really well done. A lot of the stunts, great action stuff. I loved every action scene in the movie basically. But there's just points where I was thinking, okay, that could have been done better, or it just wasn't fantastic. And I'm not saying I was expecting it to be fantastic. I was expecting to have fun, and I did. But it's just not. It doesn't do anything mind blowing or amazing. I'm giving Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings a B minus. It was good. I liked it. No, I'll give it a B. A B. A B. A B. A B. A B. Shang-Chi, a B. Now let's move on to the next film that I saw, Malignant, directed by James Wan. Yeah, James Wan. Now, this was one of the HBO Max in theater, HBO Max release date things. I went to go see it in theaters, and I didn't watch a trailer. I knew nothing about it. I just knew it was a new James Wan horror film, and I like James Wan as a director because the way he moves the camera around, the way he composes his shots are very interesting and unique. He's one of the more visually interesting directors, to me at least, right now. He's the reason why I don't hate The Conjuring. I don't like The Conjuring. I thought it was boring and not scary. But everyone thought it was, this is one of the scariest movies around. No, you guys are dumb. The Conjuring, I don't think is that great of a movie. It's shot well. It's not scary, but it's shot well. There's some good performances in it, but I don't think it's a great movie. But Malignant, now, I really can't discuss Malignant without talking about spoilers because this movie is fucking nuts. Okay, so I'll explain the plot. So it's about this lady who is pregnant, abusive boyfriend kind of, who gets pissed off because she keeps trying to have babies, but they keep dying. They're stillborn. So he gets pissed off at her because she, wants to go back to work and stuff, and whatever. So he ends up like he ends up pushing her against the wall, and she hits her head against the wall. She starts bleeding, and the boyfriend's like, "I'm sorry," but then someone breaks into the house and kills him, and the cops are thinking it's her that does it, or it's her that did it, because no point of breaking, no forced entry we can spot. But then she starts seeing these visions of people getting killed, and they all have they're all connected somehow. And so the cops don't believe her. So and it all relates to what we see in the beginning of the film, where there's this doctor observing something, and holy shit, this thing broke out that we're talking about. We got to kill it. So they do. But it's this entity that I'll explain a little bit about that's killing these people. So this entity and the entity is connected to the girl somehow, where she sees the visions of, oh my god, he's killing someone. You know, what's gonna happen next, and who are all these people? And it makes you question why they're related to each other, why she can see his visions, you know. And it turns out that the girl was adopted, and her sister, you know, not a real sister, or not her blood sister. And they're trying to figure out, you know, what's up with her, because she says, I keep wanting to have babies because I want to have a real blood connection with someone, because I never knew my real mother. I'm not your real sister. And I'll talk about this real quick. The movie takes itself way too seriously at points, and I know that's the intent. That's the intent. It's because what happens at the end of the film is it wants to have fun and show some real cool stuff with action, mixing it with horror, but there's points where it gets way too campy, and it wants to take itself way too seriously to the point where it's silly in the beginning, or more so in the middle, because when we're unraveling the plot. So it's like, I'm not your real sister, and this weird techno serious music starts playing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, this shouldn't be like so serious. You know, it should just be a moment that just passes. Then the sister tries the sister of the main character tries to figure out what's going on. So she finds these tapes at this hospital that she was adopted from, or whatever, or that the parents adopted her from. And while watching the videos, they figure out that she has this tumor on the back of her head that's this big ass parasite, right? So they cut the tumor out, but there's still part of it left in her brain. So when the boyfriend threw her against the wall, it awoken that thing, and it started killing all these people because the thing was awoken, and it was the only reason why it lived was because it kept feeding off of the babies inside of her. Like, I guess it was feeding off the souls of them or whatever. Because, damn, yeah, it's nuts. And then once this thing is finally fully reawoken, and the girl is thrown in jail, it's cool, because what it does is the girl, it turns her backwards, like her body turns backwards, and it controls everything backwards. So instead of like grabbing stuff like this, it will grab stuff with the back of her hand, like everything cracking back like that or whatever. It was really cool and unique. And it starts killing everyone in this prison, and it starts killing all the cops, and really cool action scenes. And it was bloody, it was fun, it was funny, it was action packed. It's this batshit insane ending, like this batshit insane third act. It was really cool to watch. And then it wants to take itself seriously at the end of the film with an emotional moment that doesn't feel deserved and totally out of place. And that might have been the intent for it to feel that way, but I didn't enjoy it. I did like this film, and it was very disturbing and creepy. But it's just that there's the moments where there was hashtag cringe in it, and it didn't feel the emotions it wanted to have at the end of the film didn't feel all that deserved, because they end up defeating the monster at the end of the film. It's called Gabriel. It's like it's her twin basically. It's a conjoined tumor parasite growing out of her head that lives with her now basically, but she can control it at the end of the film. And what this tumor Gabriel wants to do once it controls the girl is, I'm going to kill everyone, and all the people that I killed are the doctor, like a colleague or the husband of the doctor, and the mother. You know, I'm gonna kill my mother because she gave us up, because her mother didn't want to, you know, because she got raped when she was 15 and she couldn't have an abortion. So she had to give birth to this thing, and she had to give birth to the baby, and it just happened to have this conjoined tumor parasite twin. So she gave it up to the hospital so they can experiment on it. So he wants to kill the mother for that, but the girl takes back control of the body. And then, everyone's happy at the end. We stop the demon. And I'm thinking, who's going to face consequences for killing all those fucking cops and prisoners? What the fuck? You know, don't leave that unanswered. You killed like 30 fucking cops and like fucking 20 inmates. Are you not going to face consequences for that? You know, it's stupid stuff like that that makes it more funny, but dumb. So at the end of the day, it was an enjoyable film. I highly recommend watching Malignant. I'm going to give Malignant a B minus because it was enjoyable, but it was really dumb. No, C plus. I'll give Malignant a C plus. Okay, next, I have to talk about this film. This is the most bizarre film I've seen all year. Titane. Directed by, I don't know the director's name yet, but I can tell you that she directed a film called Raw, which I heard was really good. And this film, I only know about it because I took my friend when he came down to Los Angeles. He went to go see an early showing of it back in like mid-August. And he's like, dude, I need to talk about it. So you can't talk about it. Wait till I see it. We discussed it already. But, let's see. Director. Julia Ducournau. Anyways, this won the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival. So that's why it's getting a lot of recognition. And the only thing I said when I walked out this film was, what the fuck did I just watch? So the plot of the film is this girl named Alexia. As a kid, she got in a car crash where she had to get like a metal plate implanted in her skull because she was being annoying, kicking her father's seat in the car, and he accidentally swerved out of the way when he turned back to scold her. And so she's a dancer, and she loves cars, and she loves the taste of metal. You can see, again, I'm spoiling this film because there's no other way I can talk about this film without spoiling it. So, but before that, I'll just say I recommend watching it. That's all I can say. It was something new and unique. I liked it. I liked it. I was mixing up my feelings on it for Lamb because I didn't like Lamb. Okay, Titane. She's a dancer and she likes the taste of metal because because she likes cars. And with the metal plate in her head, she really likes cars now. So as a dancer, as an adult, she fucks her car and gets pregnant. That's the plot of this movie. Or that's the catalyst. One of the catalysts that start this movie off. Because she's also a serial killer. Okay? Her first killing seemed a little justifiable because this guy who goes, Alexia, I'm in love with you. I met you earlier a couple months ago. I need to kiss you. So he kisses her. And then she decides to kind of kiss him back. And then she pulls like a big hairpin out of her head and fucking stabs him in the ear. And the deaths in this film are very disturbing when she kills them because it looks gross and disturbing the way their bodies move. She stabbed him right in the ear, and he started foaming out of his mouth and he shook his body all weird. Like, oh fuck, shit. Okay, if that's what we're in for, we're in for this. This is gonna be fun, disturbing, weird. But she fucks her car after that. And I'm questioning how she got pregnant by doing so. Because they don't show any penetration. They show her, like, wrapping these, like, bands around her arm. Not rope, but, like, bands. Bondage ties, whatever. Wrapping them around her car. And you see her, like, thrusting in the backseat of the car. And it was funny for a little bit because when the first fuck scene happens with the car, you see the car jumping up and down, moving around a little. I'm like, holy shit. One, that's well done. And two, it was just kind of funny because it was out of nowhere. Like, just seeing the car move around and the headlights are on. Funny. And I'm thinking, did she fucking shove the gear shift up her vagina or something? I don't want to say I wanted to see it for the purpose of seeing that. I wanted to see it for an explanation as to how she got pregnant. Because she gets pregnant. And okay, I gotta keep talking about this movie, the plot. So there's this new dancer who they find each other attractive. They're making out and they're performing sexual acts on each other on a beach. But all she keeps doing is licking the metal, the nipple piercing she has, and she keeps pulling it because she likes metal. So when she figures out that she's pregnant and she goes to the girl's house, she lives in like this house with other people. She kills her, kills another person in the house, and then kills another person in the house, and she kills like four people in the house, and they're all done in very grotesque, disturbing ways. My favorite one being she got a stool, I think, and she jammed it into some dude's jaw and kept pounding it down, and you see his jaw just open and just blood spilling out with the stool just right there. I'm like, holy fuck. And you could do still breathing, I think. What the fuck? You know, and then she kills other people just because they saw her. And she's on the run, but she needs to leave. She needs to get out of there. She's on the run. Okay, so Alexia, she's on the run now because she's a serial killer. Okay, and she ends up locking her parents in their room and burning the house down because she's insane as fuck. Okay, so early in the film you see that there's a early in the film you see that there's a missing person that's been gone for like fucking 10 years or something. And so Alexia, when she's at an airport, decides, or she's at a train station, she's like, oh, I see. Because at first I'm thinking, what's the point of showing these missing people? They show a white boy and they show a black girl. She decides to disguise herself as this boy. And I'm like, okay, that's a really smart thing to show. You know, more so the black girl, because she can't look like a black girl. Come on. Because she's not a black girl. Also, this is a French foreign film, so that's why this film's kind of fucked. So, she ends up, and this is probably my favorite scene in the film. She's in the bathroom, and she has to make herself look like this. So she tapes down, she gets like medical tape. It's like that brown tape sort of thing that you like a bandage you wrap around arms or something. Wrap around whatever. So she tapes down her boobs, and then her stomach starts bulging out a little because she's getting pregnant. So she has to pressure that down, and when that happens, that's like some of the most disturbing parts of the film. Because what the fuck are you doing, you know? And then she cuts her hair off, and then she has to figure out how to make her nose look big like the dude's nose in the picture. And so she's just trying to punch herself and jam herself down on the sink to break her nose to make it look bigger like the dude's nose in the pictures of like, oh, what he'd look like now, because he's been gone for so long. We're aging it out. And I really like the editing of this film. It was really disturbing because she kept going back to trying to do it and then taping her stomach up and whatnot, because it all looked really disturbing. And it looked like it hurt a lot. It looked so real and convincing. So she ends up going to the airport, the police station. Hey, I'm this person that went missing. The father comes in and he goes, yep, that's my son. We don't need to do any tests. That's my son. And he's a firefighter. So he takes her in, Alexia, in to be a firefighter that works with him. And she doesn't want to talk. One, because she doesn't want to reveal that she's a chick. And two, it plays into the whole traumatized aspect. But she has to kind of sneak around him, like, hey, don't look at me while I'm naked. One, because you're my father, and two, because I'm a girl. And if you see this, the whole ruse is up. And I'm gonna say this: this is more of a firefighting movie than The King of Staten Island was, and this is where the film kind of dips for me. So very interesting, unique first half. She's a serial killer. She's on the run, and she gets pregnant by fucking a car. Second half, it's more so about being with the firefighter dad, and it does play into the third act with this sort of bittersweet ending, but it was kind of uneventful for the most part. And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. It's just that it wasn't as interesting as the initial setup for the film. And the most interesting part is that she fucked a car and got pregnant. We don't cut back to it so much, and it raises questions because her stomach starts tearing and you see metal underneath it. So I'm trying to figure out, how does she keep collapsing her stomach, taping this down, and then it keeps reappearing back out, because you see that there's metal underneath her stomach now. And she does it for a while, but it happens so rapidly, that her pregnancy. And then she starts leaking oil out of her tits. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's really weird, but it was unique and interesting, and I liked it. And it's disturbing. It was really disturbing. and they do firefighter stuff for a little bit. And the father character is important too because he's alone. He's divorced from his wife. He's alone, and the fact that the daughter or the fact that his son is back is very important to him. And it also reminds him of his age. He's old. He's taking these steroids because he needs to, you know, he wants to still do his job and he wants to be alive and feel alive. And it's frustrating because he's getting old and weak. But having his son back is very important to him. So it's that bittersweet aspect later on. And there's really sweet moments in the film. And I think the film looks gorgeous. This film looks fucking phenomenal. Okay, it looks amazing. There's not a single thing about the looks of this film that are wrong or that don't look good. And there's a couple soundtrack pieces that play that are really, really cool. And there's some really enjoyable scenes. Like they're dancing at some place, and he's dancing with Alexia. I think at this point he's still convinced that she's the son, and he's lifting her up. They're going around, they're having fun. But there's this person in the firefighting team that goes, "That's not your son. It's this serial killer." He goes, "Don't you ever say anything about my son ever again." But then he sees her and he goes, "I know you're not my son, but okay." And then her tits flop out, and he goes, "Okay." And he knows that Alexia isn't his son, but at one point they're at like oh shit, the battery's gonna die. Okay, I'll keep talking. So at one point, he's convinced, or she's dancing. Everyone's dancing, having fun, but she starts dancing on top of the fire truck in her dancing moves. And then he sees it, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm going to burn myself now with alcohol and light myself on fire while I'm laying in bed." Alexia then comes in because the pregnancy is really bad, and then she ends up giving birth. And then she ends up dying while giving birth. And you see the baby, and the baby is part metal. Like, you see its spine coming out of its back, and it's part metal. And now he has like a son to take care of. And it's that really bittersweet aspect of the film that I was mentioning earlier. But all in all, I thought Titane was interesting. It was unique. It looked beautiful. And I look back, at first I didn't like it as much, but I'm looking back on it more, I really do like it. It's that second act that kind of, and the fact that the pregnancy aspect isn't touched on at some points later on, it doesn't seem as important because of the new father aspect. But I thought this film was really good and enjoyable. I highly recommend watching it. I'm giving Titane an A-. Now, if I have enough time, let's talk about Lamb. Lamb is the new A24 film. God damn it. A24, the people who brought you Midsummer. Now, A24, Lamb. Lamb is directed by Valdemar Johansen. Let's see. This looks like his feature-length debut. No, he had another one in 2000. Anyways, this film tells a story about a couple who lives on a farm, and one of their sheep gets pregnant and gives a baby. But this baby is a human-sheep hybrid. It's like a human body with a lamb head. And spoilers for this movie. I can't talk about spoilers. I can't talk about this film without talking about spoilers. So, and they call it Ada. I think this is a Swedish film. But anyways, the mother's Maria, the father is Ingvar, and the brother of the father comes in later, Peter, who doesn't approve of this abomination, but he ends up going attachment to it. So I'll say this: the film looks excellent, and I told this to my friend. I said, "Hey, Lamb was disappointing." I said, "It's a whole lot of nothing that looks really good." He said, "Dude, you just explained A24." I'm like, "What? Did I?" So anyways, Lamb looks really good. I really like the lamb child, Ada. She's adorable. I wish I could have an Ada in real life. And there's a lot of sweet moments with her in the film of the parents bonding with her and Peter finally bonding with her because Peter is gonna go shoot her in the field, but he can't because oh my god, it's alive, it's a thing, and it looks so damn cute. So they end up bonding with each other over the course of the film later on, and there's points where I would say the film was boring. The film was boring at points. It looks really good, but there's just a lot of long takes of just people doing stuff, like cooking. But it's to show the loneliness in the beginning more so because they're doing it by themselves and they're doing it for long periods of time, and it's focused on it. But it was boring later on because this film isn't really much of a horror. It's just it's like a family drama, and there really isn't much to talk about because I thought there'd be more to talk about. I thought because in the beginning of the film, there's this thing walking through that scares horses and goes into the house, the barn where the sheep are, and I guess it fucks. Well, in the beginning, you don't think about it much, but it fucks the lamb, and then it gives birth to this human lamb hybrid. The lamb then wants to see its child, but the mother is like, "No, my baby." So she takes it out and shoots it and buries it. Peter sees it and he goes, "Hey, does Ada know you killed her mother?" So he keeps trying to fuck her too. And so she gives in, but then locks him in the bathroom. They end up leaving. He's like, "Hey, it's time for you to leave. We're gonna go." Peter, Ingvar, and Ada are sleeping. Let's go. So they drive. Takes them to like a bus stop. Okay, get out of here. But while they're gone, Ingvar wakes up because they were drunk. And earlier in that day, Ada saw something that killed the dog. They have a dog. But Ada saw something and it killed the dog. So Ingvar and Ada go to fix the tractor because Ada and Peter went to go fishing. They bonded with each other, but the tractor broke down. So they go fix it, and you hear gunshots. And Maria comes back. She goes, "Oh my god, what happened?" Peter got shot. By what? By a lamb-human hybrid. And then it shoots him, kills him basically, and then takes Ada away, who doesn't want to go because, "Hey, this is my father." And he goes, "No, I'm your father." It doesn't talk, but he's like, "No, I'm your father. Come with me now." So they leave. And Maria comes back. She's, "Oh my god, what happened?" And then she's just like, "Oh my god, we're done. It's over." And I said it. It's a whole lot of nothing that looks really good. And the reason why I say that is because the human lamb hybrid that comes at the end of the film, it just came out of nowhere basically. Because yeah, it's set up in the beginning of the film, but I expected there to be more of a religious aspect because one, there's an interesting shot of Maria looking out of the window and the way the wood is built with the window in mind, it looks like a cross. And this thing came on Christmas to fuck the lamb. Like, okay, this might be like a Jesus thing or something. Hopefully, this might be cool, interesting. But they don't do anything with it. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess that was just a coincidence that it looked like a cross. But this film wasn't scary. The ending was just way too bizarre and out of nowhere, really. Because yeah, it does show up later, but you don't see it and you never question it. But Maria had these dreams, like she always knew something was coming for them. But it was just kind of uneventful throughout the film. It's a slow burn drama. I get it, but I just wasn't all that interested. I mean, I was interested, but I just didn't care much. I really can't explain it. I didn't like this movie. I really didn't. I was really looking forward to it for a long time, but it didn't do much for me. It looks really good. I have faith in this director to direct some really good stuff. And I expected it to be scary. But you never know what you're going to get with A24 films, especially with how their trailers are. But in the end of the day, looks really good. I don't regret buying a ticket because it was unique. I saw it a week after it came out, so I was able to avoid spoilers, thank God. But I don't regret buying a ticket. It is unique. It's something new and fresh and original, but it just didn't do all that much for me. I'm gonna give Lamb a C-. It's it sucks because I expected more, but I shouldn't expect things, but I did. And but even watching the film, I was just like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And what happened, I didn't like much. It's sad to say. It really is. So anyways, that is the end of the Slice Podcast episode 14. 15? Episode 15. Okay, so Talked for a long time. Looks like an hour and a half. Close to an hour 40. Close enough. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want to, anyways, like this video. If you want to, share with a friend if you think they might be interested in these talking points. And I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. And bye.